Hello guys and welcome back to my channel for another episode of Hood Gaming's Tactic Tester, where we put creators' tactics to the test using our own simulation. We have had an unbelievable amount of creators on this tactic tester already, and today we welcome a new one in. But before we introduce that person and their tactic, let me remind you guys of the rules and the current state of play with our current leaderboard. So guys, just to give you a quick reminder of the rule set, each tactic must have a proven record of success and or achievement. All tactics will use the same team and fixtures for the test. In this case, it is Arsenal this year. No transfers will be allowed to be made in either transfer window by that team. Tactics will be loaded in and the entire season will be simulated. All points, wins, goals scored and win percentage will be collected and displayed at the end of the video to find the best tactic out there. So we've reminded you of the rules. Let's take a look at our current leaderboard. So guys, last week's participant and creator was LS Plays with his 41212. So from what I've heard, he's actually improved it since it was on the tactic tester last week. So maybe fingers crossed further down the line we can get him back in. Obviously, we still have Mike sat at the top of the leaderboard with his 4231, picking up the 2 trophies in his simulation, winning the Premier League with Arsenal for the first time in this series. And today we welcome a new creator. So let's get into the game and I can talk you through their tactic. So then guys, we are back at Arsenal yet again for another edition of the tactic tester. As you know by now guys, we just load it into this Arsenal team, we have a little quick pick and we take a look at what's going to happen in this season. Today's creator, PressingForwardFM, DC, absolutely massive in this community. Discord notifications all over the shop from that boy, moderating all sorts of channels left, right and center. He's a really nice guy and it is a pleasure to have him on the tactic tester this week. His tactic, let's get into it, is a back to basics 4-4-2, which I believe he's been running in his save with Salisbury on his channel. I will leave links to him down below. Make sure you head over there and check him out and subscribe to his channel whilst you are there if you are not already. And what really intrigued me about this setup is how stripped back it is. You usually see this tactical section along the left hand side just rammed full of instructions. Obviously he's using this in a non-league setting, so I think a 4-4-2, a Mike Bassett-esque 4-4-2 is probably a good way to go. With the wingers on wingers, we'll go through that in a second. But yeah, the bit that really intrigued me was how stripped back the instructions were on the left-hand side. So I'm very intrigued to see how it gets on in a Premier League setting. In a lower league setting, you'd usually think, okay, well, you don't want to overcomplicate the amount of instructions that you're giving your players, but you'd like to think that when people get to a Premier League level, the players can sort of handle that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they do get on. Obviously, I think DC's done a breakdown of this tactic over on his channel. So go over, as I said, and he'll go into it a bit more detail. And obviously, you can find out more about that in his series with Salisbury. We're just going to do a quick run through now. As you can see, goalkeeper on defend, right wing back on defend, centre defender on cover, centre defender on defend, and then wing back on support on the left hand side. It's going to be interesting to see how this gets on, because you'd imagine that's going to be Hector Bellerin on the right and then Kieran Tierney on the left. It's actually going to allow Tierney to move up a lot on this left hand side. Winger on attack on the right hand side. That's probably why this wing back is on defend. Deep line playmaker on support, ball winning midfielder also on support, and then a winger on the left hand side on support as well. He's got pressing forward, obviously, as a support function, and then an advanced forward as well. So that is a basic run through of the formation and the shape. Obviously, there's not a lot of tactical instructions to run you guys through, hence the back to basics 4-4-2, which is what the formation is called. Usually what we do in this series, guys, is we do a quick pick so you can sort of see the names that will fit in these roles. So we hit the quick pick and Steve Round says this time Leno in goal, Bellerin holding Gabriel Tierney. This is basically the Arsenal backline if you run a 4. Willian on the right, Ceballos, Partey and Saka. I actually quite like that as a midfield. I actually genuinely think that's going to be quite successful. And then obviously Aubameyang and Lacazette up top. This also works quite well because you actually get Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as a striker. In a lot of formations, a lot of people only play as one striker. That does usually allow Lacazette to get a hatful of goals, but I feel sometimes Aubameyang is wasted on that left-hand side. Obviously, you do have people who will get into this team, I'd imagine. Eddie Nketiah, Granit Xhaka, Nicolas Pepe. Ozil may get some games. David Luiz usually does as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how we do get on. I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to simulate the season. Get it right, Steve. Simulate the season, and we'll be back in a few seconds to show you how this 4-4-2 got on. So then, guys, we are back at the end of the season, and DC's tactic, Pressing Forward FM, has come in fourth in the Premier League, making Chelsea miss out by on the top four, and by a decent margin as well. I'd say 5 point safety is pretty good. Towards the end of the season, I can see he's lost 2 games in a row here towards the end of the season. From memory, they are usually against Chelsea and Manchester United in this save. Otherwise, he could have finished third, beating Manchester City. Man United runaway leaders with 91 points, something all United fans would be lucky and happy to see. However, unfortunately for DC, his team, his beloved Leeds United, have been relegated. So looking at things, Lacazette top goal scorer, that it seems to be a common occurrence in this, even with 2 striker formations. It seems like Lacazette is outscoring Aubameyang. Highest average rating, also Lacazette. Most assists coming to Willian, which is interesting. Best pass completion of Lacazette with 92%. Usually that's a centre-back or a goalkeeper, but fair play to Lacazette for getting that. Most player of the match awards, Nicolas Pepe with 10. Yellow cards, Maitland-Niles and David Luiz with 10 apiece. And red cards for Kolasinac and Kieran Tierney in this simulation. Nothing for David Luiz or Granit Xhaka, which is rare. So 4th in the Premier League. How did DC's team and tactic get on in their other competitions? So, okay, so I'm going to work from right to left. So Community Shield, they won it, which is rare. I think I'm the only other creator who's actually won the Community Shield. I may be wrong. I know I did. I can't remember if anyone else has won this Community Shield. Obviously, it is against Liverpool, who are an absolute juggernaut in this year's game. Knocked out in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup by Southampton. It's not too bad. Not great, but not too bad. Knocked out in the 5th round of the FA Cup by Bournemouth. Now, that is an issue because obviously Bournemouth are in the Championship. And then knocked out in the Europa League by Spurs, who obviously would have dropped out of the Champions League. Who did I see as their manager? Bielsa's the oh, wow, that's interesting. Bielsa is the manager of Spurs. So, what? Spurs are actually in the Europa League? Oh, yeah, of course, they weren't in the Champions League this season, were they? Idiots, Steve. So, yeah, Spurs. Okay, I thought for some reason I thought they were in the Champions League. Don't ask me why. But Bielsa has replaced Jose Mourinho as the Spurs manager. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's get into the schedule and we can take a look at how things got on. So they beat Liverpool in that opening game of the season, the Community Shield, the curtain raiser, 1-0 thanks to a goal from Lacazette. Very interesting. Liverpool usually do dominate that one. Then a solid start to the season, beating Sheffield United, Fulham and Preston, obviously in the Carabao Cup. 2-2 draw with Wolves. Not too bad, not the worst. Losing 3-2 away to Southampton, though, in the Carabao Cup 4th round is a very tough one. This formation seems to have done pretty well here. Beating Leicester is a good result. Losing 3-1 at Ellen Road to Leeds United. DC will probably actually be happy with that result if that one were to pick up and happen in real life. Interesting group in the Europa League. Standard Liège, Celtic and Lokomotiva. Actually knocking Celtic out of the Europa League, with all 3 teams finishing on 12 points. What a tight group that is. Okay, fair play. So we move forward. Some other notable results in here then. Beating Celtic 4-0 is actually quite a good result. Absolutely battering Tottenham 6-1 in the Premier League. Goals from Willian twice, hat-trick from Lacazette and Thomas Partey getting the goals there. It's probably the moment in the season where Jose Mourinho would have lost his job. The tricky patch around Christmas, drew 1-1 with Man City at home and then lost 4-0 in the away leg, the away game. Ruben Diaz, Gundogan, Riyad Mahrez and Cancelo on the score sheet there. Wow, that is a very, very good January. Only conceding 3 goals, pumping leads. Sorry, DC. 6-0 at the Emirates. Nice results against Watford as well as Southampton. Scoring quite a lot of goals in this month as well. 3s and 4s all over the shop there. Then it starts to get tricky for them. Losing at Old Trafford. Nope, sorry. Losing against Manchester United at the Emirates. Losing to Bournemouth in that FA Cup 5th round at home as well. That is a difficult result to take. However, I'm noticing here that Matt Macy played in goal. Be interesting to know if that is... Matt Macy's in goal for a lot of this here. Maybe he got injured in this game against Manchester United or Wolves, maybe? Leno? Interesting. Okay, so then they go through. Leno's back for the game against Sheffield United. Okay, maybe he was injured or had a slight knock or something around here. Then back to winning ways, actually. Beating Sheffield United. Galatasaray in the first knockout round of the Europa League. Winning that one 3-0 on aggregate. 4-1 against Newcastle. Quite a lot of 4s. 4-1 against West Ham as well. This is always a game that slips people up. A very nice March as well. Unbeaten in March. Beating Leicester, West Brom. Leicester again in the Europa League. Crazy. Beating Liverpool at home 3-1 with Kolasinac sent off in the 4th minute. That is a massive, massive result. Fair play there. 1-1 against Burnley after the hype of beating Liverpool. And then towards the end of the season, as you can see here, quarter-final first leg of the Europa League. They lost 2-1 away, at Tottenham. And then they lost 2-1 at the Emirates as well. That is where their Europa League journey ended. Another 4-0 against West Ham. Lost to Liverpool at Anfield. And then, yeah, as I said, the last 2 games of the season where they could have potentially clinched a top 3 spot. They lost to both Chelsea and Manchester United 3 and 4-0 respectively without a reply. I think there's a very good season, and it's very nice to see a 4-4-2. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed, DC. I think this is going to be a good tactic altogether. We go into the team report, we'll go into the analyst report and see how it got on. In terms of general performance, much higher on goals per game and expected goals per game than the league average, which is what you like to see, really. Also doing really well in terms of shots per game as well. We go in terms of scoring and the attacking efficiency with this. Absolutely smashing it in terms of the conversion rate. 14 shots a game with a conversion rate of 17%. That is very, very good. Our attacking statistics are extremely out of the ordinary. We manage more shots per game than the average, and we're more clinical than a lot of teams. Actually, the most clinical team in the league, you'd say there, with the highest conversion rate. In terms of conceding goals then, let's take a look and see where they are. So they're quiet and impenetrable, which is the section you want to be in, really. So what is that? Just over 10% and around 12 shots per game faced. Our defensive statistics differ a little from the norm. We face fewer shots per game than the average. We can see fewer goals than would be expected from the number of shots we face. So all good in terms of attacking and defending here. This is very, very promising. So in terms of the formations used, obviously you can see here 4-4-2, a plus 79 in clear-cut chances for or against in the 4-4-2, with a chance created every 35 minutes and a chance against the team every 86 minutes in the last 50 games. Obviously, the season is just over 50 games, and the team has done very, very well in that. So then, oh my days. Plus 25 clear-cut chances created against a 4-2-3-1 wide, a very common formation in Football Manager, and then a impressive and absolutely flabbergasting plus 34 against the 4-3-3 DM wide. Again, one of the most prolific used formations in Football Manager. As you can see, 39% of the formations that they faced were the 4-3-3 DM wide, and this absolutely battered it, creating a chance every 32 minutes. Is there anything this formation didn't really like? 4-4-1-1. I mean, that's a horrendous formation to come up against with a -3 there. But as you can see, the two clear-cut favourites here, 4-2-3-1 and the 4-3-3 DM wide, absolutely blowing this one out of the park. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to get my calculator out. I'm going to work out where DC's tactic fit on our leaderboard. I'll be back in just a second. So then, guys, that is a very, very impressive run from PressingForwardFM that finds him sat in 3rd in this tactic tester with his Back to Basics 442. He won just the one trophy, that was the Community Shield. He did finish inside the top 4, so Champions League football would be coming for Arsenal the following season. 82 points is a very, very good points return, scoring 129 goals, resulting at a 2.30 goals per game. Conceding 64 as well is pretty good in terms of the statistic there, but coming out with that win ratio of 67.85% for a Back to Basics 442. So then guys, that is it. We have had another creator on this tactic tester. If you think you can do better and you have a tactic that you think could topple Mike at the top of our leaderboard, do let me know in the comments down below or reach out to me on social media. All my links are down below in the description. You can find out any way to contact me in the description. And obviously do let me know if you think you can get a tactic onto here and topple Mike in our top spot. DC's 442, absolutely fantastic. Again, you have to take a look at the formations that it plays well against, and the two that it has played the most are the most prolific formations in Football Manager, and it has an unbelievable clear-cut chance advantage against those two formations. But that's where I'm going to leave things today, guys. If you have enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like on it and subscribe to my channel for daily Football Manager content. I'll be back on Monday at 5 PM with another episode of my Pentagon Challenge. Hopefully, I'll catch you guys there.